know my work, do you know what my work was like in 1975? No. Well, I had many careers in the art world. I did fine art, minimalist paintings in Soho in 1972, and it was rather a difficult time to make any headway in that world. So I got tired of waitressing in the Village, and I put together a portfolio with my black and white illustrations. So I'd say that when I started, it was mostly survival. I thought I was going to do illustration for a while until my real career set in. I'd say that I have almost all art inspires me, all kinds, contemporary. I find something incredible and inspiring about all these people, and I consider them all part of a family that I am really honored to be a part of. Sometimes the models were inspirational, and you know, it really depends on what the job is. You know, for working for sideshows, I was just doing the Queen of Death, and so inspiration for me was thinking of this Queen of Court of the Dead was entering into her realm, bringing a soul with her, and to me, because of my erotic background, I thought of a Gustav Klimt painting. When somebody comes up to me and they want to be an artist, I tell them not to wait for inspiration. I had a teacher named Chuck Close, and his famous saying was, inspiration is for amateurs. So really, you just have to start working, and the inspiration comes in the process of working, in the process of problem solving, which is a lot of what artists are doing. Inspiration comes in those moments. Every once in a while you have, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Those are rare. You know, sometimes they're paintings that have sat around for a year because I couldn't resolve them. Like I said, problem solving is a big part of it. So sometimes I just can't figure it out. Sometimes it's technical. You never know what it is. So I have a lot of half-dead paintings around the studio. And sometimes I will say that there is a certain type of painting that happens very rarely that comes from the back of the head. You see it clearly, and it goes through all the gray matter like a wormhole, and it appears on the paper really quickly and without banging back and forth in the brain. And that is one of the most incredible feelings ever. And that's what keeps you creating, because it's such a high, such an opiate to have that creativity, do that kind of thing, that you keep going after it. You keep going after that feeling. It's so good. I've had a lot of great projects, you know, working with Hugh Hefner, doing pinup art, being offered a throne of pinup work by Hugh Hefner. That was pretty damn good. Working with Sideshow right now, I'm changing careers. Working erotic art had its challenges. It was kind of exciting being in a man's world in 1975. I wasn't supposed to be there, so I had a good time with it.
I'm Olivia de BERARDINIS, and I'm a pinup artist. The opening is called California Cheesecake, and it's 4 years worth of Playboy images, paintings, and their studies. I think that it started in the 20s and 30s when somebody looked at a pinup and said that's better than cheesecake. And then there are all the explanations of cheesecake, from everything being the white parts of the thighs that stick out over the stockings. There's so many erotic explanations of it, but it's a great name to keep on perpetuating. Cheesecake is pretty dirty. the opening, I was lucky enough to have Hef and the girls next door show up. And Hef is such an icon for the cheesecake, for pinup. I mean, he's really built Playboy on the aesthetic of pinup. And so to have Hef show up at my opening is a validation of my place in pinup. Betty Page is a big part of my career, so there's always Betty Pages around in all various stages. When I lived in New York, I was living in the Village, and that had to be like 1977, and I had no models at the time. I would use her photographs back then. I didn't understand what she was doing in half of the pictures, but I mean, I recognize a great model.
I've waited more than 20 years to have an original Olivia painting. I love the fact that it's a Betty Page image and that it is the cover of her book. I'm really proud that I've reached a point in my life where I can make this commitment.
Gallery nights for me, well, that's my party. I see crowds of people who are just having a great time, and I really enjoy seeing the women dress up and the men, you know, it's just an event.
Oh my God, I am like so excited to be standing next to a person that got sold last night.
I got sold.
When I started, pinup was pretty dead. Being a woman painting women was not a great place to be during the feminist 70s. And it's changed. Now it's very girly. I mean, everybody wants the girly stuff.
Because I love mermaids, and I love the jewelry on her gloves. The gloves are just absolutely fabulous, just fabulous.
This would have been very much a no-no back in the 70s.
I like the handprint on her ass, and I like the fact that she's gagged and tied up.
It was mostly a male audience.
This is like a boys' playland. That's what I picture it as.
Now I have more women fans than men, and I'm very happy they identify with it. It's really rewarding for me.
It takes a certain woman to really appreciate this, but I'm putting one up on my wall.
Here they are, they're just decked out. They're letting their freak flag fly, and I love the ladies for that. Most artists come up to me, they want to know, how do I start? Tell me where to go, what to do. The answer is, you gotta start, and you gotta work and keep going, and that's what I'm doing. I'm still moving. I feel like I've got a lot of phases that I want to get at. Between burlesque and pinup and classic pinup, there's just so much to keep me amused. Putting a pencil to a piece of paper and just being able to do that for a living. It's my opiate. It's my reason for being.